Bang. The NBA is calling me, but I gotta keep working, gotta keep proving myself. It all starts with me. This is my story, and I ain't gonna let nobody write it but me.
Yo, I got next. NBA 2K is one of the best-selling sports franchises year on year, and its MyCareer mode has been going since 2K10 and is by far the most popular thing about 2K. I personally have been playing the MyCareer modes since 2K11. Hi, I'm Noah Fortner, and I think all of the MyCareer stories are fucking awful. I am personally not a big NBA fan. I'm barely even a fair weather fan. I live in Indiana. We have the Pacers. They're usually awful. I'm not even a 2K fan. Sorry, Ronald. I think your game is genuinely overpriced, underpowered, and there's way too many microtransactions inside your game. But I do have backup today in the form of my brother. Wave hi.
Hey.
I'll stick your hand out.
Hey.
Who is an NBA fan and is a 2K fan. He has all of the 2K games on the PS4, every single one. He's played through all of them, and so have I for the most part. But before I get going, I do need to explain one thing. We replayed all of these games. We have been playing as the same character build in every single game. We are playing as Mercedes-Benz. Me and my brother created Mercedes-Benz. He is a 6'9" small forward from Cincinnati. He will be going by some of the following names, but his real name is Mercedes-Benz, spelled with a Z, 2 Z's. So when I do this review, I'm not coming at this from a basketball perspective, an NBA perspective, a gameplay perspective, not even a sports video game perspective. I am purely coming after all of these games through storyline only. I might talk about the gameplay. I just might, but pretty much these reviews will be all about these stories. Before the next gen, the last gen, or like literally 2 gens ago, because technically we're on PS, doesn't matter. The story was fucking nothing. Essentially, all it was your entire draft worth and stock was based on this one game called the Rookie Showcase. We have this guy, he plays you, which you can choose your name. I always chose Big Daddy. This guy would not really do much besides the Rookie Showcase. He'd do some post-game interviews. You'd get interviewed by some teams that were interested in you, and then you'd go to the draft. And that was kind of it. I played almost all of these, and they're fine. They're okay, I guess. They're great. It's a very good foundation to what this game would evolve into. 2K14 is really where everything starts firing on all cylinders. It's pretty much a mix of what 2K would become and what 2K currently was at the time, and just kind of mashed together. And it was okay. In this story, there wasn't anything. It was very bare bones, and those bones were made of glass and paper skin. And the really only real plot point was a guy named Jackson Ellis, who is your rival in this game, which would become a theme through the following games. And nobody would really talk besides Jackson Ellis and like your assistant coach and maybe some of the interviewers, but a lot of it was told through just text dialogue, which made the game just kind of boring a lot of the times. We dropped 30 in the Rookie Showcase and didn't play for the first 2 games. What? Oh, we got drafted. It didn't say where we got drafted to. We apparently got drafted and didn't play for the first 2 games and had a lot of heat with the boys in the locker room with no voice acting, all told through text. This game is a lot more about how you will fit into the team, and a lot of it we couldn't play, and it's not very soap opera-y as it would devolve into. That's like kind of all I had to say. We didn't play a ton of it because you have to literally play your entire career to get any kind of cutscenes, and we had so many more games to go through. We're not doing that shit. In 2K15, we're starting to get into the more story elements. It starts off with you getting undrafted, and then about 6 months later, you get a 10-day contract with an NBA team. Our team was Atlanta, where we were a backup small forward, and they had a lot of interest in us. This game feels a lot more like the 2K that we have now. When you really get into this story, it's kind of the same as last season, but with more voice acting. The coach likes you, but it's still really about how you're fitting in with the team. And there's good NBA voice actors in this, kind of. This game is uglier, significantly uglier than the last. There really isn't a lot to talk about in this one because it really, yeah, some of the fugly writing and awful likeness of the storyline starts to rear its ugly head, but really it gets worse next year. Hold on, I'm getting a phone call. Hello. Hi. Yes, we are filming right now.
Okay, well I have to rant about my least favorite game in this series.
2K16. No, 2K18's my favorite. Ha! 2K16. I have to put on my stats glasses for this one, cause boy, I've got a lot to say about this one, and tell me when I'm telling lies. But first off, let me just state, I hate Spike Lee.
I love him.
I'm from Indiana, I'm a Pacers guy. Obviously, the Pacers don't really like Spike Lee for reasons.
Knicks.
This game is really when it starts to just hit that stride of that soap opera nonsense that I am an actual fan of 2K about. Because it opens with this like really cringy and weird live action slash animated intro to the game world where fucking Spike Lee is like, Shazam! Welcome to my world where I tell you the story, where you are the story. But this is the first game that we are not the story. He may say that we're the story, but we're not. We are actually Freak. And you might, if you've never played a 2K game, you might say, hey, or maybe you just haven't even played this one. You might be like, hey, who the fuck is Freak? And I'm here to tell you that this is Freak. His legal government name is Freak. Not actually, that's his nickname. Sorry, let me restate. His legal government name is Frequency Vibrations. And that is a fucking name that is not a name. I don't know why it's this, but that's your name. And we get to meet all of our other characters who also have fuck shit names, like Miss Martha, Mr. what's the guy's name?
Mr. Pete.
Mr. Pete, Cece, fucking Yvette. I hate Yvette. The worst character to ever appear on a screen, cartridge, disc, game, anything. Vic Van Leer. I fucking hate this guy. Woo. I've talked about how much I hate this guy before. For the actual like progression of the story, you do get to play through high school into the NBA, which I love, but also you have to hear Vic in high school, which I hate. Him and Cece have this weird fucking rivalry because because Cece's like actually smart and Vic's just like this bum off the streets who is his dad dead?
And his mom.
As both of his parents are dead, he's just some bum that they took in essentially, which is fine. You can be a bum, but you can't be Vic Van Leer because he's the worst. This one you get some like college interviews, which I really enjoy. Also, we fucking dominated in high school. We dropped like 30 points a game. We were amazing in high school. But then we get into the college interviews, which I actually really like. These teams that are coming to your house to talk to you about coming to play for them. We ended up choosing Michigan because I just liked the guy. He was very genuine and nice. We are projected for the top 5. And by the end of our college career, after we win all of the 4 college games that you play, we win the championships. But we're projected for the top 10. I didn't write down why. Our draft stock just went down. Do you remember?
Bad performances.
Bad performances. We win the college championship. And after that, we get to talk to Dom Pagnotti, who is the fucking best agent to ever exist, apparently. We also get to meet Yvette, who's apparently our girlfriend. She just appears. Yvette scares me. She looks like an alien in disguise as a human from like Men in Black. You know, Men in Black, like in the post office scene where they all reveal that they're aliens? She looks like that. Everyone wants to fight and decide and choose Freak's future for him, but they're not actually letting Freak decide. Mr. Pete wants Freak to stay in college. Yvette is fighting with Cece because Yvette's a piece of shit. I hate Yvette. Dom is just yelling about nothing, but Freak decides to declare for the draft. And this is, I don't think this is the first time the draft stock music is played, but it's the first time I wrote down something about it. But the fucking draft stock music is just the best. I love it. We get drafted 9th overall, and we have we go to the Hornets. We go 9th overall to the Hornets, and we have a post-draft interview, which is just insanely cringy. We find out why Freak is named Freak, and I'll just let Miss Martha tell you.
And so when I was pregnant, one of them kept kicking and jumping around all the time. So my husband Pete put headphones on my belly and played reggae music.
Hence the name Frequency Vibrations.
We shortened it to
So they fucking named him Freakin' and Vibin'. They named this motherfucker Frequency Vibrations because he just kicked in the womb, and apparently he came out freaking and vibing. Sorry, did I do it wrong?
Maybe.
It's more in the shoulders. It's like,
Yeah.
that's his dance, by the way. I haven't even mentioned the fucking dance. He does. This is him freaking and vibing, by the way. That's his like.
That's his move.
That's his move. We play in our first ever NBA game, and our number gets changed from 3. I forgot to mention, Mercedes-Benz's number is 3. I don't remember why. And I just wrote down Doris Burke's hair. I'm gonna look up if there's like an issue, but it was creepy, terrifying. It looked like a flying spaghetti monster. You could see through it. It was disgusting.
Glitched.
Then after that game, you only play 8 games in your NBA career. With the storyline, this is just how Spike Lee wrote it. I'm not sure. Your racist team owner tells you about his college friend that died, and he tells you that you should stay away from Vic Van Leer. He's bad news. And frankly, he's right, because there's an interview of him getting arrested, and he's like, he's an F-O-F. Friend of freak. Which I'm not even gonna go into the fucking. I'm not even gonna go into the catchphrase. Vic should be banned from the fucking arenas and traveling with the team. I don't know why he does get to travel with the team. I hate Vic. He's the worst. He's actively ruining your like. God, you jump high. He's actively ruining your perception by your owner of the team, and you're defending him still because he's family. He's like a brother. He's like a brother to me. Shut the fuck up. Get rid of him. Put him in the fucking bin. Get out. Your agent threatens to fire you if you don't get rid of Vic. He says VGG, Vic gotta go, which I agree. Then we play against the Warriors. We get sent to Ram Ranch by the Warriors because, I mean, it's 2015 Warriors.
Overpowered.
We get a cutscene about you making more money, and Dog Pagnotti's the best in the business. He's gonna get you more money, and how you gotta drop fucking Freak, or not Freak, Vic. And I hate Yvette. I just wrote verbatim, I hate Yvette. That was essentially about you kind of recalibrating and refocusing and getting Vic kind of out of your life a bit, but you're still hesitant on doing that. But you get your custom Jordans, and that's cool. That's cool, I guess. They're the Knicks color. We play for the Hornets. I don't know why.
Spike Lee.
Actually, you're probably right. It's probably Spike Lee. Vic is mad that you're recalibrating because you're not a part of the hood anymore, which, yeah, obviously, he wasn't gonna be there forever. Everyone hates Yvette in this cutscene. I also hate Yvette, and it's now time for my favorite scene in the entire fucking game, the car scene. If you're not familiar with the car scene, it's essentially you and Vic's final meeting before Vic, spoilers, Vic fucking eats it. You and Vic are riding through Harlem, and Vic is playing something from the artist Basquiat's, which is actually Vic in disguise. Vic wants you to front him some money so he can make these mixtapes and sell them. His music is bad, and Freak says no. Fucking yeah, smart decision. This scene is really, really weird. It's silly, really. So randomly, Vic starts to get really jealous of Freak because Freak has it all, and Vic is a bum. And Vic tried to fuck Yvette, but he failed, and then Freak fucked Yvette or something. Freak is justifiably angry with Vic because he's just like a blood-sucking bum. But then Vic wants to blackmail you. You heard that right? This car scene just took a sharp left. And Vic wants to blackmail you because you killed Dirt Bike Donnie. Now you might be asking, who the fuck is Dirt Bike Donnie? He hasn't been referenced any time before this. He hasn't been mentioned. He hasn't been foreshadowed. Nothing. This is a man who's apparently from Freak and Vic's past, who Freak kills by pushing him down the stairs. It was an accident though. Dirt Bike Donnie was running up on freaking Vic, and he was gonna pull a gun on them. Cool, this is a game about basketball. Vic then threatens to like blackmail you, and he's like, I'll never tell your secret, man. And then you start to get real worked up about everything. And then Vic's like, let's go eat. And then you're like, fucking Christ alive. You're blackmailing and you want me to pay for your food because you have no it's silly really, because it comes out of fucking nowhere. Also, Vic asks you for this car that you're riding in right now, and that would end up being his demise, because Vic fucking dies. Vic dies in a scene where you're really sad about it. And what else happens in the scene? Officer Hernandez shows up.
The referee.
Who's a referee and a college student and other things. He shows up in every game because he's just a model that they keep reusing and reusing. But Vic dies. Right before this, you get a weird scene with Yvette. I hate Yvette. It's a very weird, just, I don't know, I can't explain it.
What's a real team freak?
Yeah, Yvette and Freak are the real team Freak. Whatever the fuck that means. But Vic dies, the story ends, you get a sad note from Vic or something, and fucking Christ, I genuinely don't give a fuck about Vic. I don't give a fuck about Yvette. Cece seems to be in the right because she's been training with you since you were a kid. Miss Martha and Mr. Pete, they're just kind of there. Don Pagnotti is just kind of annoying, and your team owner is understandably right, and that's pretty much 2K16. 2K17. You play as Prez, and the opening is something with Kobe and Michael Jordan. Not that one. The other one, where they talk about basketball and stuff. You choose your college, and you get a small cutscene with your college coach, and it's very cool. And then there's really, really cool like college like floor intro, which we don't get anymore. We don't get even any intros for the NBA team intros, which is just the worst. I hate that they don't do that anymore. You play in a scrimmage, and you only get like 4 or 5 games in college. You do pretty good, but your draft stock kind of is ass. But you do get to play for Team USA, which is random, but it's a bit of fun. We kick the shit out of Australia. You spend a lot of your time in cutscenes at your like little dorm room where you have like this creepy ass Gatorade sitting on the floor that just looks kind of gross. You talk to your mom a lot on the phone about your dead dad and stuff, and
Your teammate.
yeah, and your teammate's there, which I don't know what he's about, but he's just kind of there. We start winning our games, we go to the finals, and right before the finals, our mom calls and we're telling her that we're gonna declare for the draft after this, and we almost fucking kill our roommate for eating a casserole. We win the championship with our best performance, and we are still a lottery pick for the draft. We practice our speech for something. I guess it's the draft, but you don't get a speech for the draft.
Hall of Fame.
And they do some comedy. You go back to your high school coach and you help him coach, and he tells you that he doesn't like how you're playing, even though you're about to get drafted to the NBA. So clearly someone does. We play for Team USA. You get a call from Coach K. We play for Team USA. We do some stuff there. We kick the shit out of Australia. It doesn't matter. Then it's time for the draft. We get drafted 8th overall, and we go to the King. We go around and start touring the facilities, and you have some beef with the other draftee, who is Michael Jordan. Not that one, but this one. You meet up with this guy named Denver Levins, who's pretty cool, I guess.
Because, your agent, Bruce. Big Bucks Bruce.
Big Bucks Bruce wants us to sign a shoe deal, and this is when we stop playing this one because it's just kind of the same.
You have to play through the season.
We have to play through
cutscenes.
We have to play through everything to get through more cutscenes. This is very similar to 2K15, and we didn't feel like it, but I'm assuming there's more Michael B. Jordan of this. You played it at the time. You played it a lot. Is there any other thing I should talk about or mention? What happens with Michael B. Jordan?
Y'all get close, and
We get close?
and then you're like best friends, like
We were like best
the
friends.
greatest duo in NBA. Orange Juice, that's the nickname. OJ, Orange Juice.
Why is their name Orange Juice?
No, that's a nickname for you and Michael B. Jordan.
Why?
Because they tried to come up with a cool nickname, and Michael B. Jordan said Orange Juice, and you're like, yes.
Apparently our duo nickname is Orange Juice.
Fresh squeeze.
Cool, freshly squeezed.
And there's a
Call them Orange Cassidy.
2K created a mode to where when you do good with each other, it activates orange juice in the game, and you can play with either your player or you can play with Michael B. Jordan. You can switch.
Cool. That's pretty cool. I'm kind of sad we didn't get to the orange juice phase, but I'm assuming that would at least take a full week to get to.
Even
I did
more.
not feel like doing that. 2K18, the best one, my favorite one. I love this game so much. It is the wackiest, it is the stupidest, it is the most nonsensical game that 2K has ever and will ever make. The way you get to the NBA is in a street ball tournament.
Come on, I'm trying to
I
ball.
will get to you when I get to you.
You play in a street ball tournament with names like ATM, Ankle Bracelet, Above the Rim, Jamal, Itty Bitty, and you, DJ. First name D, last name J. Your rival or friend in this game, which I really like that you can choose which one you want to be, is ATM, who I love. You play and you win and you do really good in the street ball tournament. Damian Lillard says, "Good job." And then you walk past Kawhi Leonard, but you choose to say, "Oh, it's Ronnie 2K." And that annoys me to no end, but I love it. You get to pick what team you're gonna go to, and then like a manager walks by and is like, "Oh, you want to sign with me?" And like, "Yeah, I'll take your card." And then the team guy walks up and he's like, "Oh, you want to sign with us?" It's like, "Oh, you don't have a manager." And then you go back to your apartment and get to meet my favorite character in the game, Be fucking Fresh. Be Fresh, who's obsessed with you meeting Kobe and signing with an agent, and you gotta go sign with this agent so you can talk to a team, so you can get a workout, so you can sign with a team, and then you go sign with the team, then you go to a workout. Who did we sign with? We didn't know. We watched a video. We probably signed with the Pacers at the time. You can't play this one, I forgot to mention. Anywhere from 2K18 to 2K21, you cannot play any of these games stories anymore because they're all offline, which is the worst, because you have no access to these other than just videos on YouTube. It's the worst. I hate it. 2K, fuck you, Ronnie, but I digress.
Yeah!
Then you go talk to your lane manager who's never had a client before, then you go and you sign, and then you go to work out, then you meet Hannah, who's the fast-paced talking white lady in this game. There's a theme where they have a fast-paced white lady in some of the games. I'll get to it more when they have more, but for this game, it's Hannah. You meet Shammy Wales, which is the vet of the team, who ribs you a lot and hates you, and he's fine, I guess. Then you get released to the neighborhood, which is just god tier-esque, just beautifulness. Yeah, it was heavily glitched at the time, but the ability to walk around and like go to like the barber shop and like go get tattoos, and like everybody's a character in the neighborhood, and you got your bellboy who's a character. Everybody's a character in the game. It's just, at the time, it was just fucking beautiful. There's a bunch of just crap things you do in this game, like you go fishing with Paul George, you go into like a studio booth with, is it Damian Lillard, and you record a rap, which is a bit of fun. There's just a bunch of nonsense. It really felt like they just dove into all the garbage nonsense stuff of the 2K series, and that made me very happy. The cringy writing makes this just so enjoyable, and I genuinely wish I could go back and play it, but you can't, because fuck you, Ronnie, you took down
the servers.
You took down the servers. Oh god. First name A, last name I. Probably by far, 2K19 is the best one. You are AI. First name A, last name I. What does it stand for?
Artificial intelligence.
In the game, though.
It doesn't say. Allen Iverson, Jr., I don't know.
It never says. You go undrafted, and this is the second game where you will go undrafted, but this time you're not getting no 10-day contract. No. You go overseas. You play for China. You play for the Shanghai Bears, which is genuinely a lot of fun. Anthony Mackie's in this one or something. His name is Tuna. Is that his name? Bailey is his name Tuna for some reason? I don't know why.
Tuna?
Big Tuna, maybe. Anthony Mackie's in this one. You play for the Shanghai Bears, and it's actually pretty fun. You get harassed in the streets because you're not Corey Harris, whoever that is. You get a cutscene where you do some Sims level 1 cooking in your apartment, and you burn it, you almost burn it down, which is a bit of fun. It's really hot in here. We end up finding out that Corey Harris is your rival or friend, or something, or whatever it is. You go on a date with Corey Harris, you play some classic 2K, which is very fucking funny, and you find out that you're a piece of shit. AI is just the fucking worst character, which I am a big fan of. You then find out that you're gonna go to LA, you're gonna go to the Lakers, and go play for them. And then Coach Stackhouse, played by Michael Michael Rappaport, who's this guy in Friends, you are actually playing for the South Bay Lakers. But you're not actually playing for them either. You're playing for a different G League team, because they trade you for a food truck. And where are you going? I fucking love the coach for the Mad Ants. He's like this weird burnt out bum, but still coaches a G League NBA team. You go around and you kind of meet up with some of the people. There's this like weird like Ferris Bueller bit. It's a bit of fun, and you meet the team, and you go play some games, and then you play against Jackson Ellis and ATM, which is just the best. You go to dinner with some guy, and you don't know what a tenderloin is, which I fucking hate. That's awful. That's awful writing. I hate how they portray Indiana in this one. Yeah, Fort Wayne has Amish people, but it's a tenderloin. It's a big pork tenderloin. They're beautiful. They're amazing. I love them. They're great. Haley Joel Osment is in this one as a guy named Zach. I don't know why he's in this one, but he's a bit of fun. He loves the Mad Ants. He's a big Mad Ants guy. You play some basketball at a barn. You go to the Indiana State Fair, which is not what the fucking State Fair looks like. There's no corn. There's no fucking corn maze. There's no Mad Ants. It's not in the middle of nowhere in a cornfield. It's in the hood of Indiana. All that's there is like, well, there's a lot there. A lot of fried food.
Farmers Coliseum!
There's the Indiana Farmers Coliseum. We're nowhere near the Mad Ants. I'm like 15 minutes down the road where the State Fair is. The State Fair is in the middle of the city. It's dirty. It's in the hood. It's a nightmare. It's beautiful. You have to not trust this. You have another weird rival in the G League who's trying to sabotage you. Marcus Young, because you set off fireworks. That's kind of it for this game. We watched some more about it, but really all the good stuff is heavily loaded in the front, and until you get to the league, it just kind of kicks into normal MyCareer stuff. But it is genuinely, I think, the best one. It's genuinely really good. I love the storyline of this one. I forgot. Oh god, this is the this is the most boring one. 2K20 is the boring one. You play as Che in the Coastal Conference Finals. Oh, your teammate gets injured, and then you go in the game and you're like, I'm gonna do good, and Idris Elba's there like, we gotta do good, and then like, it's sad or something happens and the guy loses a scholarship and you're mad at the coach. You're mad at the coach for dropping the guy who's losing the scholarship, and the Rosie Dawson's there and she talks to you about stuff. I'm assuming she's the fast-paced lady in this game. Shay does a bunch of speeches and shit, and this one's so incredibly dark. Not in like a storyline sense, but in a lighting sense. It's dark. All the scenes look like they were shot with no lighting in them. And that's the thing. They could have changed that. They could have made that different. It's all the time. It's just dark shadows all the time. I don't like this one. This one's boring. Nothing really happens. It's just a bunch of speeches and sad talking, and Bailey's in this game for some reason. This one's the worst. It's just the fucking worst one. It's not the worst one. It's the most boring one.
Too much story, too less gameplay.
No, it's not even about, it's about that the storyline is not really about you playing basketball. It isn't about like your transition and your journey to get there. It's about you signing a lot of deals with people. Like you go to, hold on, what's the guy? The guy from the Verizon commercials in this one. You talk to Scottie Pippen. He appears in a dark, shiny locker room.
The pit.
The pit. You try really hard to get drafted. You play a game in the pit. This MyCareer is just sad, boring, and dark. You have a meeting with Maverick Carter about signing to Uninterrupted.
LeBron!
The guy from New Girl, Winston's in this. I don't care for this one. Nothing happens. It's very boring. Nothing actually ties into you playing basketball, and it's all just about signing outside deals, and it's all just pre-draft nonsense, and it is very, very, very boring. Yeah, I'm done with this one. I'm done talking about it. The French in this game is pretty cool though. I like that they speak French. 2K21. I did take a break between some 2Ks, some I didn't play. This one was one that I did, and I don't like it. It starts off with Duke losing letting the team down. Who's Duke? I don't know either. Some guy who I don't know from movies shows up. I think he's trying to talk you into playing basketball. There's another flashback to this motherfucker named Duke who's playing basketball. You're playing basketball with him. Duke's kind of an ass. You play at Newark East High School. You find out your name is Junior. You also find out that Duke is your dad, who is dead. Then you meet Archie, who's the guy from Community, who's the teacher from Community, and they have the coach and Archie have some beef for whatever reason, and Archie explains that some stuff about he wants to play basketball, and your dad, who's a legend, your dad's dead. It's vague. There's not really explanation on why your dad's dead, but he's dead, so that's cool. You miss out playing on a pretty big game because you twisted your ankle, and this is the point where I noticed like everything in this game is just really somber and sad and just not like upbeat fun. Even the music is just sad. You end up beating your old friend, and then it's time to make your college decision. There's a cringy cutscene of you in college. You meet a girl named Ellie who plays soccer or something. There's another flashback with your weird dad. These flashbacks are really hard to get into because it just like Duke's an ass. There's some fucking podcast lady following you around and judging you all the time and making your life worse. And then you get some relationship problems with Ellie, who I guess you're in a relationship now. And Ellie and you are fighting because you're being a fucking bitch ass baby. She leaves and something, she goes on a train, she's going to play for the USA team. She fucks off to do that, and then she tells you to take down your rival Kendrick's Cobb. There's another just like weird flashback with your fucking lame dad who goes undrafted, and you judge him for that, rightfully so, because if everybody's like, oh Duke, he was the best, but he goes undrafted, like, yeah, I'd bully him too. We meet up with another weird alien looking motherfucker lady who's like this businesswoman. She's another fast talking, fast paced white lady of this game. To be honest, I skipped a lot of this because it was just like nonsense pre-draft bullshit, which I hate, as I talked about in the last game. You actually, the night before the draft, you go out and play some street ball, which is something I did not skip because it's the most interesting thing that's happened in this game so far, because you go play some street ball with your rival Hendrix Cobb, who is also your friend, kind of, against Zion Williamson, and who was the other guy? I don't know. It's essentially just Zion. It's a 2K generated person and Zion Williamson. And you do some street ball and it goes viral and stuff, and somebody's mad at you for something, and fucking whatever, doesn't matter. You put on your Donald Trump looking ass suit and you go to the draft. Get drafted, and then you have one last scene with your dead dad telling you made it. Something. And the story ends. It's fine, I guess. Moving on. 2K22 is the first game that I realized that not all the story is in the current gen anymore. There's a lot of stuff cut out of it, and it cuts down the story significantly to my ability to talk about it, because this is a game that we can play because the servers will shut down at the end of the year. And you get a fucking short intro about you playing some street ball and stuff. You go to the apartment from the same guy from the next game. They're just really starting to lean into reusing character models now. You get a hype package for some college games. There's a lot more stuff that happens in between that and the next gen, and which I absolutely cannot stand. They just decided just to leave it out. But honestly, it does cut the fat of this story. And when it cuts the fat, you realize how just naked and nothing the backbone of this story really is. There is nothing to this story at all. I will read verbatim some of my notes. You get a hype package at the college game. You're told you got the 8th seed for the tourney from the same coach from 2K23. Your name is MP. Apparently we have a YouTube channel, which is the first time I'm hearing about this. It's really just about you trying to get drafted in this one, and there's so much stuff cut out and a bunch of other stuff happens, and we get drafted 28th overall because we do shit in the game, because they make it really hard, because they want you to buy VC to play really good, and it's kind of the worst, but doesn't matter. We can't experience all of this because we don't have a PlayStation 5, and I'm not buying a PlayStation 5 to buy 2K22 for this video. So fuck you, 2K. We sit down with some agents who are the fast-talking, fast-paced white ladies of this game. I don't even think there's a rival in this one. Is there? There's not a rival. It's literally, this story is so fucking naked, nude, and it's nothing. This one's just genuinely bad, especially on current gen. I don't know about next gen. It might be good. It's probably awful. 2K23, it starts out pretty strong because on draft night, you skip all that pre-draft bullshit and you get fucking booed. You get booed out the fucking building by these kids because they wanted Shep Owens to be drafted. Who is Shep Owens? We will find out that he is a piece of shit who has live streams on Instagram or TikTok or something. MP doesn't want anything to do with Shep Owens, and rightfully so, because he's kind of a joke. He's very lame. He tells awful jokes, and he just complains about you on his podcast and to your face. And he has his little cronies, his little stooges that follow him around like Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe because they also are not funny and they're lame and they tell boring jokes. And MP just doesn't want to deal with any of this, except the only person that genuinely likes Shep Owens, besides apparently everybody else in this game, the only person that likes you, I mean, is JJ Renick, who is on, what's the show? It's Top Takes Daily. Top Takes Daily, where he actively argues with Kendrick Perkins, who fucking hates you. This guy hates you. He shit talks you constantly on this show. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff missing from this due to this being next gen / current gen. Like you playing with J. Cole, Dr. Disrespect, and there's more cutscenes about you fighting with management, this guy named Othello, and this guy who actually likes you, whose name is, I don't know his name. I genuinely could not remember a lot of the names of this game. There's a fast-paced white lady who in this game named Ashley, who I actually like. Some of the dialogues is actually decent in this game because they talk like actual people. You talk to some insider guy about your position on the team. Eventually that will come into play when you get Othello kind of kicked out of the team because he's kind of being an ass. Some guy named Freddie, and he likes you and he wants you on the team, but Othello doesn't, and that's pretty much the main story, is whether you're gonna get traded or not traded for Shep Owens, who Othello wanted, but it's obviously a bust and kind of a bum, and I don't know why they want that guy because like just one game ago they were making fun of you for having a YouTube channel, but Shep Owens, Kendrick Perkins was actually making fun of you for having a YouTube channel, not focusing on basketball, but he's like, Shep Owens is amazing, he's amazing, but Shep Owens has that YouTube fucking live channel who not focusing on basketball, he's just making fun of you and doing shit raps and doing nothing, and there's these weird camera shakes like it's The Office, and I hate it. It's also, there's nothing, I don't give a shit about Shep Owens. There's not really a lot more to talk about to this one. The PR storyline is not the worst idea. It's kind of boring because of how stripped down the story is because of it being current gen, next gen stuff. You get Odella fired, and then there's some flashbacks games, which actually is kind of a cool idea. You can play some flashback games in college. The flashback game's kind of cool. 2K23 story is not the worst, but it's certainly not the best. I've played too many of these games, and I'm gonna have to play another one because 2K24 is good as crossplay's coming to 2K, and 2K24 is gonna have another story. And is it gonna be any good, or is it gonna be similar to what we've always gotten? You're kind of just bad guy, good guy storylines. There's not much options for you. You can either be a bad guy or a good guy. It'll just be another rise to the top story. It won't ever be a you are the top story. You are the best player to be drafted. You're gonna go 1 overall because how the 2K makes these games now, they heavily focus it on VC and the park stuff, and we're never gonna get one of those stories because of how they build the games, and probably very soon they're just gonna cut the story mode out of the last gen and just stick with it to the next gen, which yeah, that makes sense, but I don't know. I doubt we'll ever get anything good out of these MyCareer storylines ever again, and if we do, I will be genuinely shocked. Other than that, the only things I have to really say about these games is Dorisberg is amazing, the commentary team is amazing, and so is David Aldridge. The commentary is just always the best. Always Kenny the Jet Smith Shaq sitting alongside the man, the myth, the Ernie Johnson. That's all I had. Bailey, do you want to add anything about anything?
2K16 is the greatest of all time.
His lies,
No.
deception.
No.
2K18 sucks.
2K18 is my personal favorite. I think that 2K21 has the best story. But other than that, that's kind of all I had. This video took a long time to make, and even the filming process took a long time to make. Cole, get up here, we're doing the outro. This video took over a month to make, and I really hope I can get it edited soon and out because I have had a lot of fun making it. Thank you to Bailey for helping me make it. And I have been Noah Fortner. This has been Cole. And if you want to watch my last video, which is a lot shorter than this one, it's right over here. And if you want to subscribe to see what else I make and what surprise I have coming in the next video, you can do that over here. But for now, I have been Noah Fortner. This is Cole. That's Bailey.
Hey.
And have a nice day and stay safe out there. Bye.